Alright guys, working on another Hyster with a GM 2.4 engine, and the problem with this is that it bogs down during high RPM. Alright, so right now it's a bit rough, but runs okay. But as soon as I hit the throttle, right, it goes at higher RPM, there would be a point that it would just bog down. It's still running fine. And yeah, you can feel it just bogging down, right? Okay, you lift it up, runs fine again. So what I did is lift it up. This is the oxygen sensor voltage right now. So it is switching 0.8 to 0.1. That seems to be okay at idle. And we're going to look at it when we hit the RPM, the accelerator pedal. Still switching. Still switching. At the moment, see, when it's running bad, oxygen sensor goes extremely lean. That's it. Starts running bad, oxygen sensor is lean, all the way out. Go back up. Go switch. Give it a moment. Then start switching again. Okay, now we're looking at short-term fuel trim. Can only get through the short term, and I couldn't get the long term fuel trim on this one, but right now short term looking okay, not the greatest, but it's okay. So it's switching from -1 to +3. So now I'm gonna rev it up. So plus 26%, and that's it. Maxed out at a higher RPM. The computer wants to add fuel. It's commanding more fuel. See, and it's running bad because of the oxygen sensor reading lean. It goes back down, compensates again, and we're back to where it was before. Because I'm running, it starts to run really bad under high RPM or high load. Made me want to check my fuel pressure, because this is a fuel injected system, right? So the vaporizer is over there and supplies the fuel rail. So what it said in the book is that the fuel rail is always going to be 800 millibars above the manifold pressure. So right now I'm hooked up, my channel A is hooked up to my map sensor, and then my channel B, which is the red trace, will be hooked up to my fuel pressure sensor, fuel rail pressure sensor. So what I'm thinking is it should always be a positive pressure, and it says on the book that it would follow along. It would always be above 800 millibars from the manifold pressure. So right now, you see my red trace on my fuel pressure sensor, and my blue trace is my map sensor signal. So let me try what happens when we try to rev it up. Let's wait for it to go to another trace. There we go. Increasing the RPM. Let's see what happens on the snap. Okay, let me hold it right there. Keep the engine first. Let's try to look at this. So, I don't have an exact number or value for the fuel pressure sensor, the rail, as to what pressure it should be at. I couldn't find it in the book, but what I'm looking at here is the response. If you look at that, when I'm increasing my manifold pressure, meaning to say I'm going full throttle, basically opening up the throttle, so my vacuum is going to decrease. So you go here, it's supposed to go up, and you see the upward trend. It seems to be following along, but if you look at the previous ones, here you go. When my manifold pressure goes positive, the red trace, which is my fuel pressure in the rail, goes lower. And if the book is saying that it should always be higher than the manifold pressure, then the response on the fuel rail shows that, you know, my fuel pressure is dropping down at a higher RPM. And if you can see here on the snap throttle especially, it followed it here, but when I snapped it, see, my fuel pressure, instead of like following along and going higher, it dropped down. And when I released it, that's when it started going up. And that's what made me doubt that I have a fuel pressure issue here. Okay, so I have here the line that connects from my vaporizer up to here, which is my manifold, right? So it needs this line for the vaporizer to react with regards to the manifold, and see what's happening with this. Okay, I'm gonna leave the camera here. Alright, show you this line. Right now I have key off. Now I would go to key on. Alright, so this is supposed to be a line that goes to my intake manifold for my vaporizer. So key up, key on. So there is propane coming out of this system, or this hose, right? And you can see, now I'm gonna key up again, alright? Key up again. So I'm still hooked up to my pressure sensor, rail pressure sensor. Wait for it to go down. Let's key up. Okay, that's off right now. So the power has been turned off to the fuel rail pressure sensor. Let's see the reaction on this. At key on, see the pressure shooting up, but slowly decaying. Meaning to say I'm losing pressure on my fuel rail, and I bet you that's where it's coming from. Okay, let's key up again. So, alright, truck is running now again. See how it reacts. Okay, see how it is right now. My fuel pressure sensor is on channel B, which is the red trace, and my map sensor is going to be the blue trace. So the big difference from earlier is that, see right now, slowly raising the RPM. It's always following the map sensor. Short term, idle. I'm okay with that. It's switching. Too bad we can't see the long-term fuel trim on this. 7%, 3% is correcting itself. Swinging. I don't have a problem with that. trim. Okay, let's recall this one a fix.